Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the final podcast from this week's Mental Health Awareness Week podcast. You're listening to me. My name is Woosh Raza, head of HR and L&D, and it's been a really great week. I hear so much feedback coming through from these podcasts, and people really people having it on in the background whilst they're cooking, people kind of really saying that there's been areas that have really spoken to them. So we're really, really great to end the week, and I am delighted to be joined this morning. Sorry, it's not even this morning; it is this afternoon. So I'm delighted to be joined this afternoon by the lovely Deborah Brannan. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Woosh. You okay?
I'm very well, thank you. Deborah is one of our administrative workers who works in our Wirral Residential services. I'm really excited to virtually sit down with Deborah and talk all things residential and mental health. So, really, Deborah, thank you for joining us.
No, thank you very much for having us.
I would like to have you. So we'll start with the question that I've been asking kind of all of my guests over the course of this week. Why is mental health important to you, and why is mental health important?
It's really important to us because we believe that it increases the chances for, well, really early intervention. And we believe that obviously if we can intervene early enough, that we can, being sort of aware of everybody's mental health needs, that it can help result in a fast recovery. I think by raising awareness, mental health obviously can now be seen as an illness, but I do believe that if we try and intervene early on, it's a way of helping everybody and trying to make them the best version of themselves and really help and show empathy and relate to them to understand what's going on for everybody and to make them also understand that they're not alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Not alone. Really important to feel that at this time. I think loneliness. We kind of touched on that. I think in earlier on in the week. It's a scary world right now, and it's okay to not be okay. I think it's kind of the key. Um, I guess for
Also
me.
great. Sorry, I think
No,
it's
no, go
also
on,
good.
Deborah. Go on.
Sorry, thank you. I think it's also great for everybody as well. That it helps them with their confidence, and obviously it brings down the walls of any stigma as well. By helping them with sharing experiences, stories, and also it educates other people as well around about what mental health really is. And just making sure that we're helping those with mental health needs to understand that they're definitely not alone. And as you said before, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's really, really a really great kind of perspective on mental health, as you say, Deborah. I guess what have been we've been talking to various people this week about various different parts of the organisation that they work for, so central functions or housing and community services. But for residential staff, and I guess staff at Wirral, how have you been coping? I guess during this time, I mean, in terms of keeping motivated or to have to persevere during these unprecedented times of lockdown and the pandemic. What's that look like, I guess, for Wirral and for
Um,
residential?
Yeah, to be honest with you, what we've done is we found that obviously by being open and honest with all the residents as to what is going on, making sure that they are, watching the news and they're understanding what's happening out there. Also by us doing, some presentations as well as to what's happening and just making sure that we look after them the best way we can. And we've changed our timetable, so we've still got, structure. We've still got lots of groups happening and everything. And, obviously with nobody's allowed visits and everything. So it's just about making sure that they understand they're not alone and making sure that it's a fun day for them as well as they're still getting all the groups, We've set up Zoom for them, we've set up video calling so that they can still have that interaction with their loved ones. And just making sure really that everybody's pulling together. We've held a barbecue for them, which was on Wednesday, social distancing barbecue. We had bingo, and then we also had volleyball tournaments as well on Wednesday, which was the staff and the residents. Staff-wise, it's about everybody just pulling together and making sure that we try and get through this the best way possible, whilst making sure that we're obviously keeping everybody safe and keeping everybody occupied and and motivated and giving them plenty of structure. So nothing really too much changes whilst they're in here trying to, go to the treatment.
And how and what I guess that's brilliant in terms of the what we've been doing to support keep them engaged. How have staff been during that? How have you been, I guess, during this period?
We've been really good actually, just making sure that everybody's okay, and we've had to say we've all been pulling together, and if anybody making sure that we're all okay and we're keeping ourselves safe.
Yeah, yeah,
Obviously, we're going from work to home and making sure
yeah,
that our everything is we're looking after ourselves. Obviously because we want to keep everybody safe in here, but it's more about
yeah,
just really pulling together, doing the best job that we can, and making sure that nothing is left or nobody's left without anything. So it's
yeah.
just about keeping ourselves safe, as I say, and just coming to work and making sure that we're not putting ourselves at risk out there, so that when we come back to work, that we know we're keeping our residents safe as well.
Yeah. And I guess have there been any specific challenges that you've seen during this time?
Um, to be perfectly honest, no, we've got a great management team, and I do believe that has gone a long way for us. We've all been kept in the loop of what's happening, and they've just obviously changed the structure so that we can do the best job that we can. But I think we've got a great management team who's obviously made this a whole lot easier for ourselves, that we can obviously deliver a really good service to our residents. And I think that's gone a long way. We've been very, very fortunate, and where all the staff team, Touchwood, have been really, really good. And, we've got nobody where, we've got a couple of people who've got to work from home because of other things that are happening out there. But the majority of us are all here. We're well looked after and making sure that everything's still going really good
Oh, that's
for us.
great. That's really great
Yeah.
to hear. And management support. Oh, apologies. The joys of living on a main road. Um, and the sirens. But yeah, that's great to hear in terms of management support that you mentioned. And it's great. I think that's really important. I think leadership and management in this time is such an important part, because I think you look to leadership and you look to management in times of crisis, to help support and kind of pull the teams together. And it sounds like that's exactly what you've been, experiencing and doing at Wirral. So that's great. Um, I guess it would be great to think about, I guess, the broader challenges in the sense of, um, I guess, what would what kind of, we talk about self-esteem, and I think you mentioned, self-worth and self-esteem in the sense of how important that is right now, because God, self-esteem is like one of the most, it's difficult on a good day,
Yeah.
let alone when you're going through this really, global crisis. And what are your thoughts on self-esteem and self-worth in terms of, I guess, support, how to manage that, and potentially some of the things that we've been doing for our service users, but also the things that we could be applying to ourselves?
Yeah, I think, well, obviously, self-esteem is really important. We found that it heavily influences people's choices and decisions. And we've been using it. So what we've done is we've done some different groups throughout the week. So we've done the gender groups. We've had some brain exercises in our gender groups, which obviously can highlight, your mental health, well-being. And we found that that's just important as physical well-being as well. But what we've been doing is we've been doing some positive affirmations. So what we've done is we've obviously had positive affirmations in which the residents will pick those out, and obviously staff have done it as well. And we've given them to each other, and picked out certain positive affirmations that we think fits well with either. We've been giving them to the residents, have given them to staff members, and vice versa. So some of them can be, you have so much potential and so much to give, spread your wings and fly high. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. We've also done groups around like gratitude, and then we've done, as I say, the positive affirmations and everything. We've just basically structured our groups around Mental Health Awareness Week, and made sure that we've worked on self-esteem, self-worth, just to make sure that everybody is obviously being motivated. And I think it's just obviously helping people explore their full potential as well. And that's pretty much what we've done throughout the week. Just obviously little acts of kindness. So one of our staff
Yeah,
members,
yeah,
Linda, she's obviously baked cakes and brought cakes
Oh,
and popcorn and snacks in,
that's really
just to
lovely.
say
Yeah,
thank you to our residents, because it's so important, with insight to what's going on, to make
yeah,
sure that they're all looking after each other as well, because, that's so important. Um,
absolutely.
so it's just little acts of kindness like that, really. But as I say, that's what we've been working on, around the behavioural groups and the relapse prevention groups. We've sort of incorporated those types of
Yeah,
groups into the program, which has
yeah,
been really, really good, and it's had a really positive impact. To see
yeah.
everybody happy and looking after each other, which is so important, and it's really, really worked this week. So it's been lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that sounds absolutely brilliant. And I love the positive affirmations. I think, gratitude is a really important part of self-esteem. I think to feel
Absolutely.
a sense of purpose, or to feel that you matter. And I feel like anyone listening, one thing that you could take away is that everyone matters, you matter. And
Yeah.
positive affirmations, isn't that a great way? Isn't that a great thing to do in terms of
Yeah.
sharing that gratitude with others?
Yeah.
Um, so that sounds great. It sounds great that you're all kind of staying resilient and supporting each other so well during this time. I
Yeah.
guess my final question is, if a member of staff, particularly say a residential member of staff, was listening to this podcast right now, eager to take something away, what would be that one bit of advice, that one key thing that you would kind of share with them in terms of mental health?
Um, I would just say, um, let your unique and positive energy
Yeah,
inspire confidence in others. And then
absolutely.
just to always remember, wherever you go, no matter what the weather, just always bring your own sunshine. If you come
Oh,
into work in a positive way, then that's obviously going to inspire others as well.
yeah,
And I just think that's really, really important. If you want the light to come into your life, you need to stand where it's shining, and that's so important for all our residents and staff as well as. So obviously, it's like a domino effect around the
yeah,
residential.
yeah.
Just
It's
keep
infectious.
smiling, keep everyone
Yeah.
happy.
Oh, what a brilliant, brilliant way to end our podcast. What a lovely, lovely final word. That's absolutely something great, and I should echo those words. Um be your own light keeper. Shine that light, like you say. Yeah, thank you so so much, and that brings us to a close. So thanks so much, Deborah, for taking the time out to have a chat with me this
No, thank
afternoon.
you.
It's been a really great way to end the week. And to all of you listening, thank you so much for listening. And thank you for all of my guests that have contributed their time this week. It's been a really important conversation, and I'm so proud to work for an organisation that really champions mental health. And really, we do put that at the forefront of everything that we do. So thank you to Deborah. Thank you to all of my guests this week. My final thoughts are, please continue to stay safe, and in the spirit of Mental Health Awareness Week this week, be kind. Thank you all. Take care.